see which way I see the situation.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, welcome to another special, long-awaited episode of iTALK. I'm your host, Pretty Boy with a 3. Today in the building, we have Cinci.
Hi.
So, yeah, please introduce yourselves with your full names, whichever name. Yeah.
I'm Kaya Cincinnati Ntati Mutebe. I just go by Cinci. I am a creative director, sort of working freelance. I work in events, music events, music shoots, photo shoots, fashion. I'm really all over the place, but yeah, I enjoy it. Yeah.
Okay. So you enjoy it. Like,
Yeah. I don't see it as like just one thing, because like it can never really just be one thing when it comes to like entertainment. Because for example, a video shoot, so many different things, fashion, music, sound, So it's like there's so many different things that need to come together. So you have to have your hand really in everything.
And what's your favorite role to play in everything?
I like to just, I think more like logistically and pragmatically. So like I prefer to be like on the ground in the scene, coordinating everything, not only just like directing, but just like in a sense, making sure the whole piece comes together and then have the final thing come together. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. Hold on. I was wondering why you're so dark. Sorry about that. I was wondering why she was so dark, but then I realized that I hadn't opened the other cards. Yeah, but yes, you were saying coordinating.
Yeah,
being in the
coordinating in the space, as in like, for example, there's a set that needs to be built, right? You already have like, not only do you have like the plan and everything, you've already spoken to the, set builder and all of that stuff. You've spoken to the costuming, you've spoken to lighting, you've spoken to all these things. So I enjoy being there, I guess, sort of in the background of all of it, and then just also trying to like build the whole story and let it come together. So that's just like seeing the creative vision then come to life from just something on a piece of paper or something in the mind, and then build it. And then, oh, can you not hear me?
They can't hear me.
They can't hear you. It's been all the entire time. Okay, little tech glitch. They can't hear you. It's been all the entire.
Okay. Yeah. Now they can.
Okay.
Now they can hear me. Okay, so I have to run the intro back, okay, because they didn't hear it. Welcome back to another episode of iTalk. I'm your host, Pretty Boy with a 3. And yeah, in the building we have Cinci, as she said just now. But either way, we'll just skip that part and pretend back. Like we just,
like we just kept going.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, just in a sense, building the whole thing, letting it come together, and then, seeing the final product. That's just, I like the entire process of it more than just, one thing and then one thing. So I just enjoy the entire process.
When you say building the set, like when you are small.
No, not even like, there's a whole team that goes into it. So
also, when you are telling them, put this piece here.
I would, telling them, but it's also in a sense like you've already collaborated with these people, because if there's like, for example, you're shooting a movie or you're filming a scene for a TV show, so much goes into just that specific scene. There's lighting, there's music, there's sound, there's all of these different things. So obviously some of those stuff are in post-production. But like as a creative director, you've already like seen the scene. You already know how it fits into the entire story. So you've spoken to the production team, or you've spoken to the set builders. I keep touching the mic with my nails. Okay, you talk to the production team, you talk to the thingy, film, lighting, sound. So all of these different teams need to be able to collaborate to see like, this is the vision. This is the set. I need you to be able to shoot wider angles, narrow, go zoom in on the face, zoom in on all of these different things. I need the lighting to be like this. This person needs to be wearing that. So all of these different people need to come together to create essentially like a scene, even if it's like 5 seconds, 10 seconds long, because in a way it all has to fit into the puzzle. So you need to be able to break down the different things depending on the vision or the idea that you have, and then try to like bring that to life. And that's just really the fun part. Not only even just like the set, the production, but also when you go into post-production, where you have all of these different things that like, you know, it's just raw footage. Sometimes the sound isn't right. Some all of these, like, you know, certain things aren't loud enough, whatever. Then you go into post-production and you have to add the sound, and you have to add the thing, you amplify the certain things, you add reverb to voices, the music and all of that stuff. And then it has to then all come together. And then it just fits into one bigger puzzle. Making
I got you, ne? But the people
for those that don't know what I'm talking about,
the people are lost. Some people are lost. They just tuned out. But either way, so you seem so passionate about all of this. So when did you start realizing, Uguti, no, I actually love this?
I got my start when I was in Cape Town. I was studying in Cape Town, and I had friends who were in.
Do you know which year this was?
This was 2022.
Okay.
Yes, so I had friends who were in the entertainment space, and they were like, you know, hosting events, hosting club events and stuff like that. So I used to go to support, and I also, like, you know, when you're there, because you also, when you know someone, and then you also hang out with them outside of what they do, you sort of get to know the person, and you also get to see sort of the story of how things come together.
Yeah.
So, for example, if your friend is hosting a birthday or an event, you also know about, like, you know, who they're planning on inviting, what they're planning on wearing, all of these different things. So I became very interested in sort of like the behind the scenes and helping like these things, you know, come together. So it just started off as just, you know, one or two things, helping out here, supporting, going and seeing, you know, talking to these people, getting to know like what they do. And I guess I really enjoyed that aspect, that I did a couple of things freelance here and there, just to gain experience and network. So I guess I had a really nice, solid network that really put me on the scene and put me in a, like, you know, just like, if I would, to be honest, like the skeleton of what this is about. And I was like really intrigued. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to continue studying. So I moved back, and then went through a bit of a rough stint. And then when I was finally back up on my feet again, I met a person. I was chilling with some friends at the park, like not this one, but the one down there. And we were lighting up, and then I met these guys, and then, you know, just some people from around the corner that, you know, you smoke with. And then, you know, you talk to them, and then you get to know them, and then you see, oh, you're doing this, oh, you're doing this. And then I was like, truth be told, at that point, I didn't have that much experience in the whole thing, but I pulled up and I said, you know, I'm a creative director. This is what I do, you know. And it's like, you have this sort of like even if it's just shadowing, like, you know, I played up sort of, you know how you like beef up your resume?
Yeah.
You sort of beef up, you know, some of the things where it's like, yes, you were there and you did those things, but it was really nice in the sense that I met these people and they were doing these things, you know.
Yeah.
You never know if you're also going to meet somebody who's puffing up their chest and they're beefing up, but like, luckily I met people who are, you know, sort of really about it. And I started working with them, and I got to experience a whole bunch of other things and learn a whole bunch of other things as well. And I really I love it. I enjoy what I do.
Yeah,
I really do.
That sounds crazy.
I really do.
But you said you're studying.
I was studying, yeah.
What are you studying?
I was studying nursing.
Nursing? Like medical? Or why did you go study nursing?
I wanted to study medicine, right?
Okay.
And I initially got in to a medical school, but it was overseas. And I wasn't able to go. I was looking for funding and scholarships, wasn't really working out. And then I decided, you know, let me go back and, you know, just study a nursing degree because it's still in the same field. And I decided, like, you know, I want to be a midwife, sort of. And I guess
What's a midwife for South Africans?
A midwife is essentially like it wouldn't be an OBGYN because that's a licensed doctor. But basically, a midwife is a nurse. Okay. An obstetrician, gynecologist is the lady or is the practice. So the OBGYNs are doctors who basically practice in pregnancy, childcare, and pregnancy, women's health, all of that stuff.
Okay.
So a midwife is essentially a nurse or a qualified medical personnel who assists mothers in a more, not necessarily in a doctor's way, but it depends on the license that they have. You can have a nursing certificate or you can have a degree in nursing.
Okay.
But, depending on the certificate you have, or you can be a nurse practitioner as well. So there's there's, I forgot the words for it, but there's you can have a diploma in nursing. You get a diploma in nursing, and that allows you to do certain types of things in the scope of of nursing, whereas you aren't permitted to do certain things as opposed to somebody who has a bachelor's degree in nursing. So they have certain training. The levels are different. So it's how you get these levels to it. So it's each one of them can be a midwife. Okay. You can be a midwife with a nursing, with a diploma in nursing, a bachelor, or even a nurse practitioner. Okay. But most people, you can either get a bachelor diploma. Most people get a bachelor diploma, and they basically assist mothers who are in pregnancy or who are about to give birth to their baby. So they'll assist them basically from the beginning. Okay. In a sense, the woman found out she was pregnant. So they basically are the helping hand, and they're basically I guess the best, you're the go-to person that they talk to about their pregnancy. They can they open up to them. They do therapeutic services. They open up to them if the mother's stressed about having the baby. They will walk them through the pregnancy. They'll walk them even after postpartum, maybe a couple of weeks to a couple of months after your baby's born. They'll do the baby's head measuring, whatever. So it's basically a nurse dedicated to you and your pregnancy and your baby. So they assist you. They go through the birthing process. They do all of those things. They'll even if you decide to have a baby in a hospital, you can have your midwife there. You don't have to have a home birth with a midwife. You can have a birth in the hospital, have your midwife there. It's just a midwife is more of a practice where I like to think of it as a companion throughout your pregnancy. It's like the doctor that you're able to instead of booking an appointment, whatever, shoot them a text, I'm experiencing X, Y, and Z, doing this as this normal, whatever. So most people can have a midwife and a doctor. It just depends on if you have the funds for it. You have a midwife and a doctor. So
Okay, you were saying, you wanted to be a midwife.
I keep rambling.
That's what I'm thinking right now. I'm when will I tell you? You're
rambling. Okay.
But it's good. It's good. You're supposed to talk.
I explain a lot in that.
You get into detail, yes.
So I wanted to be a midwife, but then I decided I just didn't like the lifestyle, to be very honest. Because you have to then practice in midwifery after you get your
midwifery.
Midwifery is the study of being a midwife. So you get midwifery. So you get your license to be a midwife. But there's various things. You know how you get how doctors have to go and do ComServe. ComServe, community service. Okay, so it's basically 2 years where you have to work
I know prison community service.
Okay, but doctors ComServing is basically
it's free.
No, it's not free. You get paid, but it's you have to do. It's mandatory as a part of your licensing. Okay. So before you can basically work anywhere else, you have to go and get your degree, your license, and you have to do 2 years of ComServe. Okay. Which is basically good because you're working for the hospitals, public clinics, all of that stuff. Okay. And you're earning a living, you're earning an income, but
you get paid.
You get paid for it because but it's sort of mandatory for you to be officially able to then branch out into other things. So some people they do their ComServe and then they go overseas and then they practice overseas and all of that stuff, or they study further overseas, all of these different things. But I'm not going to get into nitty gritty in that. But I just didn't like the lifestyle because the ComServe, you're working 6 to 6, that's 12 hours a day. You're working maybe 3 or 4 times a week. The shifts are long. You deal with a lot. So you need to have a lot of love and a lot of passion for it, which I did. But I just didn't enjoy the lifestyle. And that's also one thing that I realized, if this is not the life that I want to live, yes, I enjoy what I do. Yes, I love what I do, but I don't want to live like this, because you can get tired. There's not a lot of time for you to do anything else. You basically devote your entire life to what you're doing. And that's a lot that you don't really see unless you're really within it. So that was just like one of the things where I said no. Came back. I was just, hustling, whatever, trying to find a job. Because, that's really tough nowadays, trying to find a job. And luckily through just talking to people, meeting people, somebody referred me to, while I was still pushing my side hustles, because, those high side, you're doing that for somebody, you're getting paid, but then you also want to do that for yourself. And you need to find a way to fund it. So there's also other things and aspirations that you also want to fund outside of your, your job or the stuff that you want to do.
Yeah.
So it was tough because there was no money coming in, other than just the odd jobs that you're doing. So hustling, talking to people. This guy was like, there's this BPO in Sandton, not too far. Go. Walked in, did my assessment, had my interview, and I got the job. And I've just been there ever since. So that 9 to 5 essentially is building my 5 to 9. So yeah, I really like the direction at which things are going. So
That's dope. But speaking of devoting your life, have you devoted your life spiritually by any means to anything?
I grew up Catholic.
Okay.
I still am Catholic.
Okay.
But I wouldn't consider myself religious. I would think I'm more of a spiritual person because I don't like saying this because every freaking person keeps saying it, but like I'm an empath, right? I'm an empath, I'm like sensitive to energies and stuff. And I felt this from when I was like very young. So I didn't necessarily, I battled a lot with the, religion and all of that stuff because you would go to church and yes, you would feel these things and you'd feel like these energies and stuff, but like the words and the texts and the teachings in a way didn't 100% relate to you. They didn't really make sense to you, when you go through life experiences and you go through things and you are open to believing other things, there's different things from different texts where, let's say, the Catholic text is completely opposed to that you believe is also okay and is right and is just, but that doesn't necessarily take away from the fact that you are someone who believes in God. So I still believe a lot in spirituality. I believe in, the energies and stuff. So I sort of just go off of that more than just religion, living a specific route in life. But if I had to identify, because that's just the way I've grown up, the way I've just always been, and I relate to it a lot. I'm Catholic. I don't really know any other religion, what it's like to be any other religion other than Catholic.
And how much of that, like, of what happened in your life would you
Would I
say is because of your higher power or God?
When I couldn't afford to go back to school, that was a tough time. I've always been an academic my entire life, but now like life was starting to take a shift. I was diagnosed. I was a mental health diagnosis. I was a psychiatric patient, but the medication that I was taking sucked. I hated it. I hated the way I felt. And it's just not a great feeling to be on psychiatric medication. Other people have had different experiences. Me personally, I just didn't like it. It's like you feel okay, but like everything else is like just, they describe it as being gray. I describe it as like being gray. Where it's like, you're good, you're happy, and like there's certain situations where like you're sad and things get you like bummed out, and like it's healthy to cry, it's healthy to like react to things, even like it's just a normal experience. But it's like when you're on these medications, you can't really react to things in a way that I feel like could be healthy for people. So for example, if there's something where I'm like, I'm hurt and I want to cry because like I want to get the emotions out, there's no solid way for me to do it because I feel like this the entire time. I'm happy, I'm okay, I'm great, I can laugh, I can joke, I can, life is good, but like everything just feels like this. And it just didn't feel right with me because it's like I'm struggling to feel when I'm on these emotions. They feel like they numbed sort of feelings in a way. So experimented with cannabis, And I started to to help me a lot. It helped me a lot. So I'm a big cannabis activist for, mental health and like health reasons, whatever. But yeah, I wasn't able to afford to go to school. Things were starting to pile up, and I was getting depressed because I was like, there's nothing here for me to do. I wasn't taking my medication. I was homeless for a little bit, but I was able to get back on my feet. And now I'm at a point where it's like, during that moment where I was like, there's so many different things that are happening, and it's like, you just have to pray and you just have to have faith. Like, I just remember thinking like, I'd wake up annoyed and like I would cry because it's like, why am I trying to push something when I don't see anything? And it's like, there's just this tiny little bit of faith inside you that just doesn't die. And you just I just prayed and I just kept saying like, just please, just please, just please. I just had nothing but faith and just like letting go and just like trying to like focus my energy on like keeping myself out of all these other things. Like, fuck everybody else. I just want to do this. This is what I want to do. I love what I do. I enjoy it. And like, I just kept praying and pushing and like, trying my absolute hardest. And, things just started to happen. Things just started to change. Things just started to happen. I remember my family was able to finally get a sale on the house. They wasn't selling it, they were renting it. But that was the best outcome we were hoping for. They rented out the house that we lived in. We lived at that house for 7 years. My dad built that house. It was like the best house, and we had to move. And I was like stressed out about moving because I didn't have a car. I just had my phone, and I just I would walk around to places, to meetings and stuff like that. So the network that I built was really convenient because they lived around me. So I was able to meet them. So I was like panicking because I don't know where we're moving. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see these people. I won't even how am I going to be able to get jobs and stuff like that, in the sense how am I going to be able to go to these places to do these things to earn the money. So it was a big stress because it's I'm going to have to go and start back all over again. And that just might put me in a rut. So I remember moving was just the scariest thing for me. And the day before we moved, as in the day before we were officially moving, it was in the evening. I had applied for a job, and I went, did that stuff, and I had gotten an offer letter. So it was 2 months in the waiting for them to get back to me. And I had finally gotten an offer letter to work. And I was so excited. And I was starting literally the Monday. So I think it was the Friday when I got the offer letter. No, it was a Saturday. Yeah, it was the Friday. Excuse me. We moved out the Saturday, and then I had to go and get my hair done on the Sunday and continue unpacking and unboxing. And I started working the following Monday. And luckily, I didn't move too far from any one of the people that I was living with. So it was all of those things where the stresses and all these things mounting up, and you're just I have no idea what you're going to do. And literally in the 11th hour, I saw God pull through for me in the craziest way. And I was yeah. And I remember during that moment, I remember my mom always used to tell me growing up, pray, talk to God, do everything, because prayer is so powerful, so important. And I believe in prayer. I definitely believe in prayer. So I remember those times where I was just pray, and I would just be make sure my energy and my mind right. Because I was, through that time, I was also going through a whole ego death. It was crazy. But I thugged it out. I mustered up the courage. I went through, and now it's I'm in a better place, and I'm so grateful. Super, 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 super grateful. But one thing I will say, critique myself on is I noticed after the whole thing happened that I sort of lost my way, and sort of going to church, having my moments of spirituality, giving thanks. When you go and you beg God for your blessings and you beg those things, and once he gives them to you, you tend to forget. And in my mind, I was damn, that's the one thing. So the one thing right now in terms of my spirituality religion is I really want to go, get back into that space, because that's something that I really miss. And I'm okay, I also feel kind of bad about it. I'm no, Like this guy pulled through for me. Like he's the one. And I'm a believer. 100% I'm a believer now after that happened. So I'm like, if he pulled through for me in this way, like there could be so many different things. And you don't want to be a dick going back to God and be like, it's me again.
Yeah, and now you're
like,
back.
listen,
yeah.
at that time it's like in a situation where you're like, damn. So yeah. That's that sort of situation in my life before I did transition really it changed a lot for me in my spiritual sense and in my religious sense. So yeah, so it was a whole bunch of shit going on.
So wait, you said you're homeless. How long are you homeless for?
I was probably it wasn't long, like a week, 2 weeks.
Were you like homeless,
no, I
or
wasn't
like friend sleeping
not
at couch?
I was staying in a homeless shelter. So I was staying in a shelter for refugees.
Ooh,
There were women who were it was for women and children who were refugees. They were coming to come and seek asylum. So they stayed in that place. Either they were, escaping sexual violence or domestic violence and stuff like that as refugees. So they had a home for them with their kids. And, I think that whole experience, like, I'm not even gonna lie, I grew up in inside, and I was thinking about this earlier. I grew up in Sandton. My family was comfortable. I went to private school, all this stuff, and I was like, only after COVID did things like really start to take a turn. And that's when you start to realize, all of these things were great and they were nice, but it's like they're not there anymore. You don't have the luxury of having them. And that was it was tough because nobody likes to be uncomfortable. It was a tough time for everybody. So we've sort of slowly started getting back up into these things. That's when I also realized, like, in the state of being homeless, yes, like there were valid reasons for me wanting to like not be at home then. But it's also like when you're also in that situation, I realized a lot of, how they like to say South Africa is the most unequal country in the world. It's the most unequal country in the world in terms of unequal opportunities as well. Where it's like, even though you know how to do X, Y, and Z, you're not in this, you don't have a laptop, you don't have a power source, you don't have internet, you don't have all of these different things where, the opportunities for you to grow are there. So you're homeless, you're in a situation and all of that stuff. So it's like, now you're in a situation where like you have to battle with yourself and you have to realize like, okay, do you want to get to a certain point where like, okay, I can, move out and like, finally have like my own space and get to a point where like I have my own things going on, even if it means going back at home and like, going through a situation that you're not necessarily 100% happy with? Or are you happy to like stay here where you're like literally starting from like ground zero? Like you don't have a job, you don't have no money, you don't have anything, you're staying in a homeless shelter. You need to figure out a way to get yourself back up then. And, learning a trade, learning a skill is always great. Some people sell weight on the street. If you don't have a skill, they usually start to sell weights on the street. Some people, if you know how to do nails, if you know how to do hair, if you know how to, be a mechanic, all of that stuff. So learning a trade is definitely one of those things that were really, really important that I realized. And the trade that I had was technically like digital marketing. And it's like in that space, there's a market, yes, but it's also like you don't have the resources to get to that spot. So it's like, yes, I had the skill, but my resources were limited. So
oh, please,
that's you. So it's like, yeah, it was one of those things where I had to just, sit down, be not realistic, and also understand like how much do I really want it. So I had to sit down, talk to my parents, renegotiate things, and we got to a spot where we were both happy, and things have just been, I guess, a lot better since. But yeah, the aim is just to keep going and eventually get yourself out there.
Crazy. So the shelter, where was it?
It was in Joburg.
Josie.
Like it wasn't far from that Vodacom tower. Like I could, like if I woke up, I walked outside, I could like see it.
That's crazy. And your experience there?
I was mostly to myself, I guess, but like it wasn't a bad experience, was a lot of time to think as well, and just to like sort of reflect. There was still a long ways to go from then on, but yeah, it like that experience really just like showed me like how much I really wanted this thing, and also how much of like, as much as I am grateful for all the different things that I have, going to a good school, all that stuff, it doesn't really also take away from the stuff that I experienced growing up. So I was grateful for the resources that I had access to, So that was also what's going on. So that was also like, yeah.
Oh no! After 30 minutes,
it just
yeah.
So it was also just one of those things that that really like woke me up, and I said like, okay, I was in a place of opportunity. So it's like, sometimes you just have to like humble yourself a little bit and just, it's tough. That's really what made me realize like it's tough out there. And I don't want to take any of those things for granted. So I was grateful for the experience, grateful for them, taking me in, letting me stay, letting me get myself like, back together. And then, I was able to like liaise, get somebody to mediate a conversation between myself and my family and get to a spot where we could all agree. And, things just started gaining momentum, some rough patches here and there, but eventually it all ended up working out for itself. So we just keep going. We just keep pushing and hustling.
Pressa.
Yeah. You just keep pressing.
But shout out. That's crazy, eh? That's crazy.
I lived so many different lives.
No, but you deserve it. You deserve it for being a Drake supporter.
Listen, nothing breaks my heart. Nothing breaks my heart. This person, like, when was it? On Friday.
Yeah.
On Friday, this person goes to me. I was in the office. He's like, and we're busy talking about music, whatever. Like, and I told him like, no, I'm a Drake fan. And every motherfucking Kendrick supporter, let me tell you now, every single time I've come up to a Kendrick supporter and I told them like, no, and like there's some mention of this whole beef that's going on. Actually, I'm going to talk to you Kendrick supporters now. You come to me and the only thing you want to tell me about is not like us. I'm like, fine. My king took the L, man. He took the L. But like this person said to me on work, is like, you better keep that down. I'm like, listen, to this day, on my grandmother, I got it on recording now. You listening now? On iTALK, you hear the show first. Since he's a Drake fan, since he's a Drake supporter, yes, we took the L. But I definitely believe my king will bounce again. He doesn't need to address this, address this beef. Just drop an album. It's fine. Drop the album. It's fine. Just drop something. Do something. Just do something. They say he's trying to look like Princess Diana. After that picture of him with the white pants or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Michael Rubin.
Princess Diana. I was like, leave him alone. We know he's sensitive. Right? We know he takes things a little bit too hard. But every single person who's ever like beefed with me about liking Drake, especially in terms of the street, I've always told them like, listen, you guys are not really ready to fall in love now. Because there comes times in situations in relationships where you have to choose to love somebody. You can't rely on loving somebody every single day. Yes, this person's going to fuck up. Yes, this person's going to give you the ick. Yes, this person's going to do something. You still have to choose to love that person. And I'm like, given the circumstances, I'm still choosing to love Drake. It's fine. It's fine, but I know my king. I know he'll rise again. And that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. So what about the PDF file stuff?
Innocent until proven guilty. We can't keep judging people. That's a very serious allegation, eh? Child say it's a very, very serious allegation. And if the facts are true, let them come out with the story so that we can take this to trial and we can get these people locked up, because I don't stand for it. If he's that type of person, I retract my statement, because I'm none the wiser. I don't know. It's just
you
rumor.
don't. Yeah,
but
definitely.
If it is the case, bring it out, let this person go to trial, because now we're dealing with children. I don't care. If you know something and you're sitting there, you're just as bad as the person who's technically perpetrating, especially when it comes to children.
Yeah.
So if you know your friends or whatever are dealing with children who are young, call them out on that shit, because at the end of the day, when they come down, you can also go down with them, because you know, and you're saying it's a rumor or whatever, but you're not willing to back it up. You're going to say it, fair. Fine, back it up. because that's a very serious allegation. Same with rape, same with murder, same with all these things. If you're going to say it, at least bring out the evidence.
Yeah, but I mean, there is some YouTube documentaries with like,
and
you know, hints. Yeah.
His behavior doesn't help him with younger women. It doesn't help him.
Yeah,
The
no,
way he's
but
always like puts up with women who are younger than him. It doesn't help him. And he has a problem with strippers. We all know.
you know what I think it is? I think, do you know Adam 22? Yeah, so I feel like Drake and Adam 22 sexually are in the same boat, right? So it's like
never thought about it like
when you could get any girl you want and like you have so much sex, you get to a point where you know you want more, you want something different,
literally.
you know. So
and it's also that same story, like it's also the same sort of category about like, you know, how those IG models, they poo on like, you know, defecate on like rich Arab men chests in Dubai and stuff like that. And it's like, I feel like as much as I attain or I hope or aspire to have that much wealth.
Yeah.
I also understand the psychology of like, if you have the money, if you have the means to literally get the best of the best, you can get it, and you've already done it. You've done it. You know, it's gonna get tired and boring. So you're always gonna seek something different.
Yeah.
And it's also now like the mindset changes that like you have this much money, you have this much power. You know, you can technically get away with things that are like, as a regular person, you could not get away with. You know, so it's like having that much thing like popularity, fame, money can also get to like a point where you need to, I guess, come back down to earth. But hey, we're seeing a mass exodus there in Hollywood. People are getting called out.
No, it's going crazy. It's going crazy.
Like, I just want to see it all go down.
It's content for us. It's content.
We'll talk about it, Shin.
It's crazy though. It's crazy. That side, it's crazy. But for people who like the IG models who go and do those things to get rich, there's a quote by a Los Angeles rapper called Almighty Suspect. He says the means should always justify the ends. You see, so it means, Uguti, you know, just because you got there doesn't mean how you got there doesn't count. You know, because how you get there also builds character. Taking back to you and your story, right? For you to be where you are, you had to go through what you had to go through so you can learn what you need to learn, right? So it's not given to you just like that, you know? So yeah, that's all I have to say to you guys for that.
Yeah,
Stop that. Stop it. You're embarrassing us as a country. Come on. Oh, speaking of embarrassing us as a country, do you know Joseph Dary?
Yes, I know Joseph Dary.
The cheaters on Joseph Dary, you watch them?
I do watch them.
What's your thoughts on the content and
I mean, I've maladaptive daydreamed
about what? Hold on. This person says I've what? Hey.
I maladaptive daydreamed about, you know what it means to maladaptive daydream? You know when you like you it's this thing on the internet where it's not a theory, it's a real thing where people like live inside their minds and they create scenarios or situations that they live in, sort of like to build a space of comfort, whatever.
Yeah.
You know that daydream that you have before you go to bed, those things. So I've maladaptive daydreamed in some timeline where I'm with some guy and I meet Joseph Dary. You know? Listen, I will stand on the downfall of a man. Purely because I want to. Purely because I don't care. Right? It's just the man at the end of the day. Not even on some feminist type shit, not even on some whatever. Like me as a girl, I just don't like men. Not that I'm gay sometimes. But not like that. But it's like, if it's a man, beat him up. I'm always going to stand for like the downfall of somebody. That's just me being toxic.
Wait, so what? You standing for the downfall of who?
Like, for example, if Joseph Dary, relationship. Let's go Joseph Dary.
Yes.
He goes whatever. let me see your phone. You already know you're instigating a situation. Joseph Dary is an instigator.
He definitely is. He's an intelligent instigator for sure. My sister, he's cheating on you. Oh, you don't trust each other. You are cheating on each other. He's
because
literally
it's also a thing of like me personally. If I was in a relationship with somebody, I'm not. I don't want to say I'm not the type of person, but I'm not necessarily going to like worry about what's going on your phone. The same thing as me is like, I wouldn't want my partner to go through my phone. Not even in the sense like I'm hiding something, but it's also like your phone is like, have you thought about how inconvenient it is to lose your phone? Think about all the different like types of personal shit and stuff that's on your phone. Like it's personal things. It's things that are on there that I don't.
About cell phone, love.
I don't necessarily like. I don't have anything to hide because it's like I know I'm not doing anything crazy, but like you also know the thing where somebody looks at your phone and they see things and they might interpret it differently, right?
Okay.
But it's also a thing of like I don't want to look at his phone, mind my business. If it comes to me and if I find out, even if it's by means through phone, it's going to happen. But I'm not going to be that person. Let me see your phone. Let me see your phone unless I have a reason to do that shit. So now you're walking with your hand, your whatever, your chain. You're walking in the park. Joseph Dary all of a sudden comes and sees you. He's like, hey, swap phones, right?
Yeah.
There's been, I don't know, I think there might have been, because I've seen it on the internet numerous times where there's been situations where couples switch phones and there was nothing on the phone because they were not cheating on each other, which is great.
Yeah. Beautiful.
To you, but it's
Shout
also
out.
like you can easily cheat on the phone. Cheating on the phone is the easiest way to say because like everybody's contacts is there, whatever. But I also think that some of the videos that are also posted on,
Joseph
Dary, how statistically speaking, out of all the couples that he meets, how many of them are, number one, allowing them to go through their phone, number two, are like, catching the cheater? Because the ones that catch the cheater are the ones that are always going to be posted because of the ones that get the most views. Nothing wrong with that. It's the way, that's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. If he's not going to find people that are not cheating, why would he post that on his thingy? Because his core audience is like basically catching a cheater. He's trying to catch people who are cheating. So if I find out Joseph Dary, whatever, he's cheating, whatever, I'm always going to giggle and laugh because now you were caught cheating. Because if a random person comes up and they say swap phones and I see that the situation happens, I'm going to give my phone. But in my daydream, I'm not going to give my phone because at that point in time, I don't want that person to think, oh, it's whatever. Me right now, if I was to date somebody and they went through my phone, even though in an ideal world, I'm not doing anything, if they see my phone, I think they might think I'm cheating.
Like what? How do you talk to your friends? Say I love you, send hearts and all that.
No.
What is it that they'd see that would make them think you're probably cheating? Is the question.
I'm gonna sound like a pick-me, but I don't want to. I'm not a pick-me.
Okay.
Ravonia. Okay. Backstory. After grade 8, right? I moved halfway through grade 7, sort of second end of grade 7. I was telling you about this. Second half of the year in grade 7. That was 2015. I moved, lived in Ravonia. When I moved to Ravonia, I went to boarding school all the way in Mpumalanga. Whatever happened there. I never dated anybody. I was never romantically involved with anybody. When I came back here, I was just here and I was maybe seeing family friends or friends that lived in the area, maybe in Bryanston or whatever. I have not met any female like my age or like, people that are like around or available like that personally as me, as a girl when I'm going outside. Because I know I'm like a social person. I talk to people. But more often than not, and it's not even by the fact that, I'm actively seeking it out or I've cancelled out all the other girls in my life. Most of my friends who I see every single day when I'm around are gents. And my female friends are like either dispersed around or like, for some of them are studying, some of them are like Pretoria or whatever. Like immediately when I step out of the house, within like, maybe a 5-kilometer radius from where I live, it's just the guys who are my friends, right? So that can also be tricky in relationships because imagine if I was looking at somebody who was like the opposite of me, if it's a guy and most of his friends are girls, I'm also going to start to think questions. So it's natural. So it's like when they go through the phone, they're going to see messages or they're going to see contacts and be like, why are you still with him? Like when you're with a friend or when you're with a guy and you're walking in the street, you see a cute guy, you can't do anything because why are you with your friend and they're going to think that you're dating that person. It's those things where it's like, it's minor inconveniences or just the way that things happen where you tend to just, your friends just became guys because of the circumstances we're in, not because it was like a thing that you've actively done.
Okay.
So if Joseph Dary pulled up to me now and I had a boyfriend, right, and they saw my phone, they were gonna see contacts who were guys because those guys are my friends. And he might feel some type of way. So if I'm gonna be caught as a cheater, I'd rather just throw my phone and be like, I don't have a phone. I don't have it. I'm going to literally gaslight him and Joseph and tell them like I don't have my phone. There's no phone. You guys are lying. It doesn't exist. And you finally bill it and then see what's gonna happen. Can you take the phone if you want to?
Now they will see she's cheating straight. Yeah. She for the streets.
I'd rather go down as a cheater.
Yeah. Then
that sounds so bad. I don't want to get cheated on. But it's like if it's a Joseph Dary thing, I'm like, I know he's probably gonna post shit like that. If I'm gonna be smart about it, because I know the situation that is in, if he, I don't have a phone. If he pulls up with a guy that I'm with, or that guy that I'm talking with, if I don't care about that person, I'm not gonna give him the phone.
But wait,
I'll do it just for the content.
So you said you are gay sometimes.
Yeah.
Firstly, what does that mean?
No, it's just my favorite, like really, like favorite way of like that way of saying I'm bisexual.
Okay. So okay. So you hang around guys most of the time. Mm-hmm. Where do you meet the girls that you date? If you're always around guys.
The last relationship I was in Cape Town. I've been voiceover for over like a year actually, and I'm really proud of myself for that.
Okay.
Yeah, because very candidly, when your body count becomes older than your age, you start to get tired of the meaningless sex. You start to get tired of all of those things. So it's like the last time I was really with somebody, intimately was in Cape Town. I haven't really been with anybody intimately here in Joburg. That was purely because of choice. Purely also because of circumstances. I've abstained. I'm not really familiar with the club scene like that. I know the big clubs in Joburg. So I'm also not really out like that. I went to high school with people that I only met for probably only knew for 2 years.
Yeah.
I went to Cape Town. Life moves on after high school. And before that, my other friends that I was with for 3 years, they were in Mpumalanga boarding school. I went to uni for a year, then I moved back. So I don't really have, friends around the area that I would meet girls and stuff like that. So the only other females and friends the only other like girls that I interact with are like colleagues at work. If I'm out with other friends that I know and I meet other girls there, talk to them. But it also takes time to build a friendship and build a connection. You may meet somebody once, twice. Friendships don't also work out all the time.
Yeah.
Whatever. So it's like the network or the friends that I have are not necessarily people who are like studying or whatever, where you're exposed to different, people, like different people your age,
okay.
that you can relate to and stuff like that. Okay. So it tends to be a little bit hard in that aspect, but I'm trying. I don't know if that's
what are you trying?
I'm trying to make more friends outside of the friends that I hang around.
You have so many friends and you still want more friends.
What do you mean I have so many friends? How many friends do you think I have?
Probably like 10, 15.
My friends.
Yeah, your friends.
Every day, like if I had to count my friends that I see every day or that I see like that.
Like your friends in general.
In general. Yeah. If we're already talking about friends in general, count maybe 3 of them because they're in Cape Town. And then the others are, there's 3, and then what? Not even 3, maybe 2 in Cape Town. Then it's 3. I'm sorry.
No, feel free. We answer calls, yeah.
It's my dad. Hello? What the fuck? Okay, where was I?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's like, that's my dad. He's literally driving on the way to freaking city. He calls me. He's like, remember that thing that I told you to save because you didn't do it last month. I want the full amount this month, okay? I'm like, okay. I'm like, is there not a better time for us to like sit and talk about this? Like, why did you have to call me to tell?
Yeah, no, it's God's timing.
You know what? All right. Whatever that means. Where was I?
You're speaking about we're on friends. Yes, you wanting more friends.
Yeah,
You're counting your friends,
yeah,
saying you have a couple of friends.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, I probably have like
3 friends.
5 friends.
5 friends.
5 friends.
Not bad.
I'm not counting you in these 5.
Yeah, no.
You don't want to be my friend?
Out. No, I do.
Okay, so I have 6 friends. Okay.
I don't have friends.
Why don't you have friends?
I'm joking. I do have friends. Shout out to my friends.
Because it's like, there's difference between like, do you also find a difference between people you call friend and people you call people that you just hang around with or people that you know? Because not everybody's your friend. Yes, not you're cool with them, but they're not your friend.
Thank you.
So it's like if I had to count on my hand my friends.
Your friends. Okay. That's what I meant.
They're people that I chill around. Like if I had a problem, no offense, you're not the person that I would probably go to and like talk to and like
definitely, yeah.
But it's like I'm cool with you, we can chill, we can chop it up and whatever. Like that's what it is. But there's no hate, there's no shade. We're friends. You also have your people. Like if you're going through something, I'm not the first person you would call. You see.
Definitely.
Not everyone is your friend.
I feel that. Yeah. No, I wanted to clarify on that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, you took my words. Hey, Nje, you're articulating me. Mina, ever since this Blxckie thing came, my English has run away. Ever since it came here, like I've just been stuttering the whole pod. I don't know what's up with me these days, but either way.
When I first heard about Blxckie, he scared me a little bit. Let me keep quiet.
Scared you out.
No, it's like his name is Blxckie, right? And then I saw him like, okay, the name sort of makes sense, but it's like, damn, you're a little scary.
Oh, okay.
I was just a little frightened.
I mean, yeah.
You know, Kodak Pack also is like, he's so cute, but he scares me. He's a little scary.
Kodak, the gremlin. That guy, he's on so much. Allegedly, he's on so much drugs, different stuff. But either way, these people, Americans and all that. But speaking of Blxckie, there's like this thing of history repeats itself. There's like a young moment happening with 3 SA rappers. That's giving J. Cole, Kendrick, and Drake.
I'm gonna be very honest. I'm not very attuned with SA rap like I am with US rap,
that's
maybe because I've just never really gotten into it. I've never really met people. Or the music that I listen to, I've never really met. I know these people. I know these names. I know a couple of their songs, but it's never been like.
Okay, LucasRaps. You know LucasRaps,
I know
right?
LucasRaps, yeah.
USIMAMANE.
No. Oh, I've heard of him. He has that song that's going training.
USIMAMANE. I just need to check. How am I?
That's the one I just like. That's the song I'm talking about. I know that song, yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So he just.
So LucasRaps and what's his name?
USIMAMANE.
Yeah.
They had a song that they did together.
Okay.
Right? It was like a diss to like Blxckie.
Yeah.
Right? So what had happened was it got leaked somehow. And then USIMAMANE's camp were like released a statement, a whole thing of no, we didn't want association with that and all that. So Lucas recently he dropped another track, but it's just him. So in the first, he has like a young snippet. I think he says, I'll do it myself. It's like a Thanos snippet. That's like a desert USIMAMANE because he wanted to be pulled out. So a lot of people are calling him J. Cole at this moment.
Oh, USIMAMANE.
Yeah, because J. Cole folded as well.
Okay.
Drake and Kendrick. Yeah. So USIMAMANE
smart
is
business
like,
decision, by the way.
Very smart. Very smart because Blxckie will enter your career before you start. He's way too far to be dissing. And Lucas and Blxckie, I see it because they came up together. Once upon a time, Lucas was bigger than Blxckie. No cap. We all know that, right? So with them, it's a fair battle.
LucasRaps was very big during the Flexecution days.
Yes.
LucasRaps, all of them. All of them there.
Back in like what was it also with was it without me when he dropped that record. Yeah, back in those days, he was definitely way bigger than Blxckie. But Blxckie has surpassed him to another level, which is crazy, right? So I see. Shout out Blxckie, shout out Blxckie. So I see how the competition and the back storyline can go to that beef, And I just hope that these niggas, because Blxckie, they asked him at the launch. They said, what does he think about the USIMAMANE thing, whatever.
How recent, like, when did this happen? Like, a month? Like, how long ago?
No, this is things of this week and last week.
Yeah. Okay, so it's fresh, okay.
Very fresh, yeah. So he was like, he's focused on the music. He's just focused on his career.
Yeah, I mean, like, right now he has
doing.
like a whole, he's just launched.
He's doing a lot of things. He's busy, right? So that was his response, right? But at the end of the day, it's hip hop. Young Tola. It's hip hop. We still have the dissing. We can't just focus on the lovely Mnandi things, of the music.
Yeah, and if
of
you're
the
gonna get sensitive, it's gonna.
You feel so.
I'm talking to you, Aubrey. I'm talking to you.
So they have to, just go back and forth somewhere somehow. But what I didn't like with the LucasRaps track, there's no name. Like they're doing this thing of, because the audience know who I'm talking to.
Oh, they don't name drop.
Yeah. I don't, bro. It's 2024. Y'all have seen.
You want a name drop?
We gotta have a name drop. So you gotta be direct. You gotta speak that shit with your balls in your hand, my nigga. That's how you gotta speak that.
So that's how you. That's why you're rocking with Lucas.
No, I'm
like not even like as in like that's where you like stand right now. It's like you dropped a diss track, but you didn't name anybody.
Yeah.
So it's like, are you really about it?
It's useless. For now, it's useless.
It's useless.
And I will have no bias just because.
So he's just dropping sublimes on Blxckie and everything. G.
So it's like, it's.
I mean, it's like a beef, but like he's dropping sublimes with someone to like name drop because everybody knows who it is.
Exactly.
This game.
Exactly.
This game is weird.
It's like.
I mean, like, listen.
Yeah.
All right. There comes a lot with name dropping someone, especially in this career, right? Especially in this scope. If you're gonna name that person, like, that's like you saying, fairly, you want all the smoke, but like you saying, like, I'm calling you out. This is you. This is what you've done. All of that stuff, which it creates like a very interesting, situation. Like, but then also, I'm thinking about it maybe in the sense of like business, because even though you mentioned now, Blxckie's a big name in SA rap. LucasRaps, he's had his hype, he's known, people know who he is, but I wouldn't say like he's
internationally he didn't penetrate that much. No,
exactly. Whereas like Blxckie's, at least he's making a mark. You now imagine me right now. Yeah, let's say I'm gonna use a scenario that I think we can all sort of understand, and I don't want to name drop either, right?
Okay.
But like,
hold on. Before you get into this, I want to cut this because it's about to reach the 30-minute mark.
Okay.
So yes, you're saying.
So it's like, and I'm not gonna name drop, but it's like, if you're new or like not new, or like if you're in a space, you know how the music industry or like music business works, the biggest names get the biggest cut, whatever, which I mean is like every business, but it also, entertainment comes with the whole aspect of like public entertainment rules on the court of public opinion, right? If you are not positively received by the public, even if it's not a court of law, whatever, if you do whatever, you could lose your career because you're in the space of entertainment, you're entertaining people. So the people's courts technically will decide. Okay, so now, in theory, now we can say Blxckie has more fans, more power over the people in the public over LucasRaps. So it can also be, yes, if LucasRaps is still probably making a couple of like, making money off of his music, off of if he's still doing stuff like that, it can be like a thing where you don't want to then go and
destroy your bag.
Blxckie, because then what happens. Stuff can get like, you cut in your bag. You're gonna get blackballed. You're gonna get.
But at the same time, it's like, why you not gonna name call him, but you're gonna sneak this in? Because the thing is, he knows, Blxckie knows you're talking about him, right? So either way, he knows. So you just gotta be straight and direct. Plus, you can't look at it from a one-sided perspective, right? They could go through a beef, they could make up a lot of streams. People could look at their past videos together, be like, yo, these guys are, there's a lot of streams that they could have get in that time, you know, a lot of things. And with Lucas, what he's got, South Africans love an underdog. South Africans love an underdog. So with that, if he can use that to his advantage nicely, he's gonna be able to get, you know. But now the thing is, it's already out with he tried to get USIMAMANE to come and help him. So it's like, my guy, Lucas raps, but Lucas needs help to rap. You know,
last time I think I heard about, not even like LucasRaps, but like last time I actually like remembered or heard about LucasRaps was when my friend, his family owns a filling station. So he went to the filling station, LucasRaps went to the filling station, and my cousin was there. What about that time he took a photo? I was like, yeah, I took a photo with LucasRaps. That time, no idea who the fuck that guy is. I just heard of his name from like the execution. See the photo, I'm like, oh, it's this guy. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Never heard about him again. To be fair, I'm not necessarily into like
you're not in the,
but like,
but
like nowadays it's like it's actually starting to like gain a little bit more traction, like, you know, a little bit more. So I'm like, I know the names. I know
Lucas has been a dog. Lucas, like in terms of
I've
rapping,
heard of Blxckie. I've heard of Lucas. Rapping LucasRaps for sure.
Rapping Lucas has it in the bag. You know, I believe like bar for bar, he might actually go harder than Blxckie in terms of the raps.
Shout out.
But musically, you know, what will get, they're not like us, might come from Blxckie, right? But the bars, Lucas, you know, that's how I look at it. But we'll see if these niggas want to get serious. Blxckie is busy. Blxckie is in America. Blxckie is far.
He's not here with you.
He's busy doing his things, you know. But yeah, we'll see how it will go. One beef I'm interested in seeing is the USIMAMANE and LucasRaps beef. Because now that USIMAMANE has pulled out, he showed him Uguti doesn't have his back at all. And USIMAMANE did record that song. So it means at some point there was an agreement with dissing this guy. You see, so now it means one was like, no, I'm backtracking now. Which means if we go into it like we're fighting this person, then now you like, no, when we get back, I'm gonna fuck you because when you backed out, we went there.
We were together. Like, then when you and in the heat of the moment,
so yeah,
but and I thought he was so cute. I was like, yeah. But if you know, I'm gonna keep quiet.
Let's wrap up. Battery's about to die.
Okay.
But yeah, no, shout out. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a long-awaited high five.
Thank you. We did it.
So long.
Did it.
Yo. But you are also the first female on iTALK, so shout out.
Paving the way.
You're paving the way.
Get your ladies. Let's get us going.
They must come through. Manje, you know, ladies sometimes here is less. You know, you know your peers. Some of them here.
Which ones do you speak to that are just, it's not finished here?
There's
also a couple of people I see like, it's not full here.
Yeah.
Not female, but everybody in general. There's a couple
everybody in general. But if we're talking of podcasting, more men are in podcasting because more men are opinionated and are willing to share it. You
say
know?
what they want to say.
Compared to the women just like, I just want to go to Centin and do this and that. Whatever they want to do, you know. They won't tell you about whatever you're telling me about doctors and this. I'll have to rewatch this episode to relearn what I just learned in this episode. Like I have to go back because there was some knowledge there, but it was so much that I didn't catch half of it, you know. But that's the good thing. I rewatch it, really, because I edit it. Yeah. Why am I talking about this? We're about to wrap up the episode. Let's click this episode on the screen, whichever, wherever it is on the screen.
Like, share.
Thank you.
Follow us all.
In the description.
Everything is in the description. Thank you.
Shout out. Yo.